Bohemian Rhapsody. Why did I say it like that? Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Possibly the most famous song of all time. Definitely up there, and one of the most popular Forestella requests I've ever received. The time has come. I won't do a big intro. I don't really think there's a need. There's a very high chance you've heard this song many times before and you probably know it through and through. This will be the second cover on my channel, actually. Pentatonix, the world's most famous a cappella group, did a cover which was fantastic, so be sure to check out my video on that if you want to see my mind get blown. I'm hoping for something similar here, not necessarily in terms of a cappella, but in terms of the mind-blowingness. And Forestella, of anyone, are probably good candidates to do just that. Freddie Mercury famously, or supposedly said, do whatever you want with my music, just don't make it boring. So Forestella, no pressure here. Let's get straight into it.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. Easy go, little high, little low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me, to me. Mama.
Ooh, it's just a really nice opening to a song anyway, but Forestella somehow made it even more magical. There were a few really obvious things they did there, and some not so obvious, so I'll try and point out just a few. This is a longer video than most of the performances, over 6 minutes. I don't want my video to go on forever. This is also a live performance. Copyright could potentially be quite strict with this one, so this will be our first pause just to go over some of what we've heard. I think I'll just take it straight back to the beginning before we carry on with Cho Ming-yu's solo here on Mama. Straight in with the opening.
Is this the real life?
The use of effects. We're hearing them quite obviously on the vocals. More obviously are the echoes. Less obviously are the effects that are applied.
Caught in a landslide.
You can really hear it there on the land of landslide. Of course, it's somewhat replicating the original.
Caught in a landslide.
So overall, there's somewhat a surreal feeling to this, very ethereal. That's not all though. Let's dig into the actual, what they've done with the notes, the chords, the opening. It's a cappella. Just as in the original song, there's not all this instrumentation in the background, and it's interesting chords. So as we can hear,
Is this the real life?
compared to the original song,
Is this the real life?
the original opens with this chord, these 4 notes. Really nice. We can hear Forestella are performing down though, so if we just move all of these notes down, so slightly lower than the original song, but that's not all. Listen to this chord, and now let's listen to the opening chord again.
Is this the real life?
We can hear that underneath all this, Kowu Rim, the bass, is actually singing. That note is the root note, an F, and this is an F chord, an F minor 7 chord. So having the root note at the bottom underneath it really gives it a bit more stability than in the opening otherwise, such as we get in the original song. I do like this stable opening, but at the same time, I also like how they do it without the bass in the original. The instability makes it sort of mystical in a way, but I do also like having that bass at the bottom. There's something quite commandeering about it. We also are hearing all of these notes, plus the bass, so there is backing track being used, more than just the 4 live voices. So I will be expecting backing track to be used throughout the song, additional voices, additional harmony parts, and with Bohemian Rhapsody, if you really want to have a impactful effect as the original song does, you probably need it. So the bass part really stands out in the next phrase again. Underneath everything. Moving up slowly. Lovely arpeggio. But starting not on the root note of the chord this time, because that would be down here. So in the bass part, which we hear underneath everything, really giving it the foundation, the harmonic stability, 20 seconds in and we've already heard a mixture of the root note of the chord and then that same note used as not the root note. I point this out because I really do believe it affects the feeling of the song, of what we're hearing, especially as later on we know how there are some very high moments in the song, so I imagine we'll have Kang Kyung Ho, the countertenor, taking care of that. Very interesting there, very magical chord structure change inherently, and of course this piano we have. Piano or... almost like a harp coming in there as well. But here, this chord now is completely different to the original. And again, it's that bass part. Really advocating this change. We can hear the harmonies different. Causing dissonance with Cho Ming-yu's melody here. And now they revert back to this strange chromatic bit. Just before we carry on, the phrasing, I think I need to mention the phrasing, such as here. You know, dropping down, crescendoing through. And at the start, the second line on fantasy. Is this just fantasy? Fantasy. It certainly seems like fantasy, listening to it, doesn't it? Really magical. Let's carry on. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did receive multiple times a video of Forestella singing Bohemian Rhapsody at double speed. Just as with some other Forestella videos, I will react to that after this one. That segment you can find linked below in the pinned comment. Should be a lot of fun. And on Patreon you can find my other Forestella additional content.
Just kill the man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away.
Harmony change again, Ranger.
As if nothing really matters.
I love the subtle changes just there in the piano, for example, just the removal of some of the notes. It certainly catches our attention by just removing some notes.
Too late, my time is gone. Send shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go. Gotta leave it all behind and face
Go on.
the truth. Mama, sometimes wish I'd never be born at all.
Okay, now we're about to enter the kind of operatic parody section. It's been 2 minutes since our last pause. Please, video, don't get taken down for copyright. That won't be any fun. Yeah, we'll do our second pause here. Again, I'll just try and point out a few of the more interesting things from that section we've just heard. Before I forget, I will start with... So my favorite part of the song, not section, as in my literal favorite one individual line amongst everything, in the original comes there. And if we were hearing that then, it would go... piercing through and falling in through there. Let's hear it in the original now. You'll notice that's in the same key. So Forestella have very cleverly, due to the subtle harmonic changes I mentioned before, or alluded to, I'm not going to point out every one, have reverted now. They've moved into the key of the original song. Anyway, we don't have that line. Or do we? It sounds like it's there in the background very subtly, very, very quietly, and it comes after a bit of a delay. The point is, it's not a prominent line, and it's not one of the 4 main Forestella members singing that part. This is just personal preference. That line is ingrained in my brain so much whenever I hear Bohemian Rhapsody. I just hear that line. That's why I'm mentioning it. It's great though. We have Kang Kyung-ho and Cho Min-yu, Forestella's countertenor and tenor, who are just both so well suited for this song because of the range, Freddie Mercury's range. Slightly different voices, Cho Min-yu. Well, let's listen to Kang Kyung-ho, the countertenor first.
Too late, my time is gone.
It's so natural for him. At the time of recording this, the last Forestella related video I actually did was Kang Kyung-ho's take on The Phantom of the Opera, in which he sang both the female and male parts. So be sure to check that one out after this because he's just an incredible performer. The range that he has, he exhibited it in that. I imagine he'll be exhibiting it in this. He can also get the grit in the sound.
I don't wanna die.
Still just sounds so easy for him, but then by contrast, singing in the same range in chest voice, we have the leggero tenor.
Mama, life had just begun.
He's singing this part first, less gritty, lighter, a bit more elegant.
Now I've gone and thrown it all away.
Ah, can we hear that harmonic change underneath as well?
Thrown it all away.
Dum, 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 dum. This chromatic descending bass line, such an important role. Here,
And now I've gone and thrown it all away.
it's not there. It's doing more of an arpeggiated scale down. And as I was listening, I was thinking this reminds me of other Forestella works, such as My Favorite Things, where a real true strength of theirs, I feel, is this ability to create this magical sounding music. We've got flutes, we've got strings, we've got harp type sounding instruments, everything so ethereal. And at the same time, they can transform the music in other ways by just shifting the sound, whether subtly or really quite obviously, all while maintaining the clear conviction and story and melodic storytelling of the original song. There are many cases in this song, and I just simply can't cover them all. If you enjoy these videos or find them helpful, please consider supporting me. Patreon has a bunch of exclusive benefits, behind the scenes videos, additional reaction content, Q&A videos, and more. For a one-time donation, you can donate me a hot chocolate at the Buy Me a Coffee link, or become a YouTube member for these groovy emojis and membership badges. And a huge thank you to these lovely people on the screen now. Everyone then comes in for harmony. Their versatility, Bae Do-hoon is now singing. So 3 out of the 4 have already sung a relatively high melodic line, which was obviously sung by Freddie Mercury in the original. And 3 different voice types as well singing it. Really quite cool. Keeping the guitar solo in there. And there's that chromatic descending bass line now, which again, they do keep in here. Da-da-da-dum.
I see a little silhouette of a man.
Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Sun bubble to lightning, very, very fast.
nobody loves me.
He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Spare him his life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go, will you let me go?
Bismillah,
No, we will not let you go. Let it go. Bismillah, we will not let you go. Let it go. Bismillah, we will not let you go. Let me go. We will not let you go. Let me go. We will not let you go.
let me go.
No, 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 no.
Mamma mia, mamma mia.
Mamma mia, let me go. Beelzebub is a terrible sight for me, for me, for me.
So you think you can solve me and spin my eye? So you think you can love me and leave me to die?
Oh, baby.
Can't do this from me, baby. Just gotta get out.
Just gotta get out.
Just gotta get right out of here.
Ooh, that was interesting. Cho Ming-yu, the tenor.
Just gotta get out.
Just gotta get right out of here.
I'm not sure what he shouted, but he's now putting the microphone to the crowd. Is he maybe saying like, give us a cheer or sing along? Oh, it's been about 1.5 minutes. Okay, we'll do another quick pause here. As I was watching this, I was just thinking, they've done such a good job. Whoever's decision it was for them to cover this song, and in turn, whoever made the arrangement, if they had a hand in it or if it was someone else, hats off to them. Kudos to them, because this is such an iconic song. There's always a risk if you do a cover, if you change it around, that people who really love the original song might not like what you've done with it. I always say there's not one single piece of music in the world that everyone likes. But in this arrangement, I think they choose the moments perfectly. When to honor the original, when to stay true to it almost exactly, or when to change it around a bit, whether that be subtle harmonic changes or rhythmic or melodic changes or adding in some harmony. This is one such section.
So you think you can love me and leave me to die?
Oh, baby.
Can't do this from me, baby.
Just choosing new harmony that we don't get in the original song for that last line there. And what did we have before that? We had the countertenor, the tenor singing in harmony, and then the bari tenor taking over afterwards. Everyone is getting their moment. I just think they've sung it really, really well. I've not mentioned the bass that much other than at the start.
Bismillah, no, we will not.
So good. So good.
Bismillah, no, we will not let you go.
Bismillah.
And on these Let Him Goes, obviously Kang Kyung-ho singing way up there. I don't need to talk about that. It's just incredible. But there is a subtle backing harmony as well, which looks to be in the backing track.
We will not let you go. Let it go. Bismillah.
Just underneath.
We will not let you go. Let me go. We will not let you go. Let me go. We will not let you go.
Let me go.
No, 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 no.
And a bit before, oh, I'm all over the shop here. There's too much to try and remember. I can't. Before that, how theatrical they are.
Silhouette of a man.
Whoosh, will you do the fandango?
The aesthetic is great, obviously honouring the very iconic photo from the original song.
Bubble to lightning, very, very fancy.
Kang Kyung-ho going up to a top A, the highest note your typical chorister is expected to sing, and one note higher. Yeah, a great song for Forestella to cover. I think they're perfect for it. All right, there's 1.5 minutes left, the final stretch. Let's see how they end it. Goosebumps. Oof. Wow, interesting ending. They've just modulated. Finishing there. Very unexpected. What a nice, lovely section. I'm going to want to listen to probably a fair bit of that again. So let's just quickly, a couple of things. These tight ooh chords, they're almost tribalistic in a way, like ooh, ooh. It's reminding me of going into a squeeze before a rugby game or something. Classic suspension there. And another suspension there in the middle. Held on for a little bit longer than we might have expected. But then the build up to that final section. And in our heads, I'm sure we're all hearing how the original then goes. Nothing really matters. You know, like that. But no. Silence, and they really play into the silence here. Like, really play into it.
Nothing really matters.
Bass.
Anyone can see.
So he is the baritone, whom I call the bari tenor, because he's a baritone. His timbre, his vocal texture is that of a baritone, but his range is that of a tenor, even superseding some tenors. That note he just came on there, quiet, exposed. A tenor would typically struggle to come in on that note, or not struggle, but you know, that would be a daunting prospect. And he does it as a baritone or baritone, going through all the singers. Lovely last note by Cho Ming-yu. Piano stops. What's going to happen? Whoa. Whoa. So that modulation there. That is, in our heads, it's starting off a progression. Is how we might expect it to finish. But no, they just stay there and then finish on that last chord. Almost as if it's unresolved. Definitely leaving us wanting more. Really cool performance. Forestella, Bohemian Rhapsody. Put two great things together and I guess you'll get a great outcome. Well, I'm going to leave that one there. And now I'm going to go and watch them sing it at 2 times speed, which should be good fun. So if you want to watch that with me, head on over to the link in the pinned comment. Otherwise, thank you as always for watching, especially if you made it this far. To help with the algorithm, please leave a comment. You don't have to write anything. Let's just go for a music note emoji for the musical prowess of this song. A like would really help too. Subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time.